Now, we have the brain and the spinal cord. That literally is like the computer, the command center, the intelligence of the body. That's the lifeline. Once we have that, nerves can start to flow off of the spinal cord and organs can be created. So you'll see at 4 weeks, this little guy is literally 1/4 of an inch long. This is what it really looks like. And you can actually see the brain and the spinal cord, and you can see the heart. Do you see it? 4 weeks after conception, we have this heart that literally is built out of nothing. It's built out of nowhere. Here comes the heart. It starts to beat. Now, women don't even know that they're expecting at this point, but yet there's this heart that starts to beat. And if you think about it, that heart beats and beats and beats until the day you're gone. And you don't even have to think about it. There's an intelligence driving this process. Now, just 1 week later, you can see the spinal cord there. We have the buds that will become the arms and the legs. And then by 11 weeks, this little guy is 3 inches long, and everything it needs to become a full, complete human being, every part is in place and functioning. It can't necessarily survive on its own, but everything it needs is there. And what's incredible to me is that at 11 weeks, a woman is barely, if at all, showing. But yet here is this living creature that she didn't have to have any thought in creating at all. Because would you agree, women can be pregnant 11 weeks and not know? But yet, there's an intelligence driving this process. Now, why isn't that some babies aren't just born with, say, a 3rd arm dangling out of its forehead? Or 4 eyes? I mean, seriously, that doesn't happen. I mean, there can be rare genetic glitches with children, but 99.9% of the time, we have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, because it's not random. There's an intelligence that is so beyond our comprehension, our ability to create. It's so beyond that is driving the show. And the way that I look at it is if we can just make sure we're getting out of the way and not interfering with the process will likely work perfectly. Agreed?
Yes.
Now, could you imagine that up to this point, there could be something that goes wrong that does not allow the fetus to grow in the way it's supposed to grow? Because honestly, sometimes there'll be a miscarriage, correct?
Correct.
And that's the body's way of saying, okay, this one didn't work out.
Right.
Now, whether or not that happens, what are some of the conditions or problems that could happen that would not allow this to happen? For example, what if the mother was an alcoholic? That potentially could thwart the perfect process that could happen. What else?
Drugs.
Right, medication, prescribed or
Illegal.
illegal drugs, absolutely.
Accidents.
An accident, some type of trauma. And then you could even possibly argue poor nutrition, lack of nutrients, even maybe a negative thought process, who knows? I mean, we have no idea of knowing. So we know that we can make it so the body can't create this perfect being. We know there can be problems. I mean, even think about environmental issues, you know? She's peeling off lead paint and doesn't know it. I mean, there can be a lot that can happen. But the body, assuming we give it the best environment, the body will create life perfectly. This is amazing. This was a study, it was a story that came out that showed this baby had a genetic problem. It's called spina bifida, and it was severe enough that there was a decision to do what's called in utero surgery, where the doctor actually would go into the uterus when the baby was still inside the mother and try to repair the child to give it a chance to live. Now what happened was, as the doctor was doing the surgery, this little hand threw out of the incision and grabbed onto the doctor's finger, and you can actually see the hand. We forget that this is life, this is intelligence. And you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that baby's either saying, get off of me, what are you doing? Or he's saying, thank you for saving me. I mean, we don't know. But there's an intelligence there. Within the last many years, there was an article in USA Today, and it showed a discovery that when a baby is in utero, some of its stem cells reverse in the bloodstream and implant in the mother's brain. So what that means for you, if you're a mother, or for your mother, is that there are some of your stem cells in your mother's brain. Now, they found that the stem cells start to fade and are gone between the ages of 18 and 21. So, of course, speculation is that this is part of our evolution to help the mother have a mother-infant, mother-child bond. So when we've had those inklings as mothers that our child needed us, or that connection, that's part of creation. How incredible is that? I mean, that again is something that we can't even begin to see the layers of intelligence that exist, that connect us and that create us. Having an awe for this intelligence that's inside of us is critical for us to be able to expect healing. Birth happens. No, this is not one of our children, but I thought it was a pretty cute picture. What happens to innate intelligence? Does it say, looking good, awesome, pat on the back, have a good one, takes off? No, this intelligence stays with us. And get this, it's responsible for our wellness. Now, we talked about the brain and the spinal column being the headquarters for innate, right? Mm-hmm. Do me a favor, knock on your head. Come on, do it. Do it, do it. Okay, why didn't you get brain damage?
Because we have a skull.
Right, you have a skull, right? So we were created with hard bone to protect our brain because it's so critical for us, right? Now, look at your arm. See if you can find some hairs on your arm and pull at your hair. Just do it, pull. Now move a smidgen over and pull a different hair. Did you feel it in a different place? Different nerves. That's how extensive our nerves are. We have our spinal column and all of this network, highways and highways of nerves all throughout our body. It runs the show. Your central nervous system and your peripheral nerves, all the nerves that go to your body, they are responsible to get the messages from the brain to the body and back. This controls your blood, your circulatory system. It controls your lymphatic system, your immune function, your digestion. It's in control of everything. Now, we talk about the spine as chiropractors, right? Do you remember the word I've used to show interference to your nervous system? The S word, subluxation. Oh, you guys are so good. Okay, subluxation means that there's interference to your nerve system because your spine is no longer healthy. Now, if you think about this, okay, our skull protects our brain, our spine protects our spinal cord, right? Now, why wouldn't your spine just be a solid tube of bone? Because wouldn't that totally protect it?
Couldn't move.
Yeah, you couldn't move. Now, what's ingenious is not only does our spine allow us to move, it allows nerves to exit at every level and go off to every organ and every tissue. Now, when our spine is healthy and we have the proper arc in our neck, for example, it allows the nerves to escape from our spinal cord and go off to the body. When the spine is no longer healthy, and gosh, think about this, how could that happen? Car accidents. Who's had a car accident in their life? Yeah, they say the average person has one accident every 10 years. That's true with me. I know, really? Good thing I've been adjusted since I was 14. Who has a computer? Yeah, we sit at laptops now, what, 8 hours a day? You know, even if you don't have a job with a computer, you probably go home maybe a couple hours a day, especially if it's a laptop, it's not set up well. And then we talk about carrying heavy bags, heavy purses, heavy children, sitting in a car all day long. As humans, we were not designed to sit as much as we are. And then any type of trauma. I'm sure people have had falls either skiing or falls on the ice, sports injuries, growing up, all the sports that we play. This can cause our spine to misalign. And over time, if that misalignment's not corrected, then our spine can start to change shape and it actually can start to degenerate. And that type of interference to our nervous system does not allow us to be healthy. And you can see what happens here. On the left is the actual spine, and on the right is what it looks like on the inside. You can literally see where the red arrows are, how the spinal cord itself can be crushed. It can be interfered with. And I don't know about you, but that pathway, that lifeline, that's like a circuit breaker. You want that open. You want your body to have every chance for that intelligence to work. How do we maximize this? This is the way I look at it. If we were given this amazing intelligence to heal us, everything from a cut to cancer, if I know my body has that ability, I want to give it every chance to be able to express itself to its potential. When I think about the environment that our intelligence needs to be able to function, I think about movement. There's studies that have shown that literally when we move our joints, it sends nutrients to our brain. Movement creates brain power. And the more we can move as many joints in as many directions as possible, we are healthier. I also know that when I sleep well, when I get the proper REM sleep, when I stay in my circadian rhythm, when my body gets the type of sleep that it needs, not just quantity, but the quality of sleep, I know that I can let that healing happen because my body is properly resting. The healing happens when we sleep. I also know that when I feed my body the fuel that it requires to be healthy, because it's not just about what tastes good, it's not just about what's available to me, it's really putting thought into what does my body require to be healthy? Ideally, 80% what?
Fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, vegetables. We need vegetables. I also know that when my thinking is right, it helps my body function better. And I know you've been to thought process workshops that we talk about. There literally is a connection, a psychosomatic connection behind what we think and how our bodies function. And I take that seriously. And then lastly, I know that one of the greatest advantages that I have and that our family has is to get adjusted. Every time we visit the chiropractor, every time we get adjusted, it opens up the nerve system. It literally opens up the ability for our innate intelligence to work throughout our entire body. And it literally goes beyond how I feel. It goes into how I function. And as many of you know who've been adjusted maybe every other week for years, you know that the advantage you give your body when you keep your nervous system free from interference is huge for health, huge. It's so common for our patients to suggest that they have had such an increase of health since they've been adjusted. People literally see that they're not sick as often, or when they get sick, they get better faster. That's an advantage that I want to make sure everyone knows is available to them. Every workshop that we give builds on how do I feed my intelligence? How do I get out of the way so this amazing power I was given to heal can just do its job? There's a saying that says nature needs no help, just no interference. And when it comes to Mackenzie, I can guarantee you when she asks for an adjustment, it's not because she has pain. It's not because she just thinks it feels good. Even at the age of 7, the foundation has been laid that she believes her body is a healing machine. And she chooses to eat well because she wants that advantage, and exercise and go to bed when she's supposed to, and even get adjusted because she knows it turns her power on. And that's my wish for all of you. And for our guests tonight, of course, if you've never had your spine checked, if you don't even know if you have subluxation, that is an absolutely critical thing to do because there may be interference in your intelligence that's not letting your body heal. And what an advantage you would have to be able to know that information and have the choice of chiropractic care for health. Be well, everybody.